Good morning, hello. Welcome to our programme. It's Thursday already. We are live until 11. In half an hour's time, we are going to show you exactly how you can check what information, what data Facebook holds on you and how you can download it. Very straightforward, but we're going to show you just after 9:30, and that is, of course, after Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg apologised for mistakes that led to millions of Facebook users having their data exploited. Facebook's founder Mark Zuckerberg has broken his silence and apologised after his company allowed the data of 50 million users to be harvested by the political consultancy Cambridge Analytica. It's alleged the firm then went on to psychologically profile American users as part of Donald Trump's 2016 election campaign. Here is Mark Zuckerberg speaking to CNN.
If you told me in 2004, when I was getting started with Facebook, that a big part of my responsibility today would be to help protect the integrity of elections against interference by other governments, I wouldn't have really believed that that was going to be something that I would have to work on 14 years later.
I'm going to challenge you.
But we're here now.
I'm going to challenge you. Have you done it?
And we're going to make sure that we do a good job. This isn't rocket science, right? I mean, there's a lot of hard work that we need to do to make it harder for nation states like Russia to do election interference, to make it so that trolls and other folks can't spread fake news. But we can get in front of this. And we have a responsibility to do this, not only for the 2018 midterms in the US, which are going to be a huge deal this year, and that's just a huge focus of us, but there's a big election in India this year, there's a big election in Brazil, there are big elections around the world.
Well, like over 2 billion of us on the planet, I have a Facebook page, and yesterday I downloaded the data that Facebook have on me, and we thought it might be useful to show you how to do it if you want to download your own data to see what Facebook knows about you. So here we go. Okay, so go to your Facebook page, and then you go up to the top right-hand side, and there is a small black arrow. You see that there? Click on that. And then scroll down to Settings. Okay, then you get your general account settings, which you've got your name and email address and so on and so forth. Whiz past all those, and you'll see this small text here, which says download a copy of your Facebook data. Obviously, click on that. Download your information. Click on Download Archive. Now, it's just going to ask me for my password, so look away for a second. Actually, I did do this earlier, so hang on. Thank you. So what happens is that will take some time now to download. You can see it downloading there. Now, I've only been using Facebook in a personal capacity for about a year, so there's not that much data on me. What will happen is you then get an email which says, here is your data ready to download. Your Facebook download is ready, so you click on that, and what it does is send you a file. Oh, it's asking me to put my password in again. It sends you a file, and you can print it out, or you can email it to whoever. And here is my data. It's not very interesting, as I said. I've only been using it in a personal capacity for about a year, so it's obviously got when I first registered, Thursday, January the 25th, 2017, 5:04 p.m. My date of birth, the fact that I'm a woman, music, it says BBC Radio 4, which is bizarre, but anyway, I must have put some clips on there. And then it's got various pages that I like, various things I've talked about, for me it happens to be various cancer charities, BAFTA, Goodreads, things like Audible, so all the things that I'm interested in, and other pages that I have liked. So you can get your own data really simply. Now, probably it will take a lot longer for you because you've probably got way more data than me. I don't use Facebook that much. I don't, post pictures of my children, whatever. But you can get the whole lot downloaded so you know exactly what they know about you. So, the next question is, once they've got all that data, how can Facebook and other third parties use your data? And what can you do if you don't want your data used in this way? Let's ask data strategist Jennifer Stirrup and Ivana Bartoletti, who's worked extensively on data ethics. Welcome, both of you. Jennifer, first of all, why is people's personal data so valuable?
It's so valuable because of the patterns that we can find in the data, and we use those patterns in order to understand them better and really about selling services to them. In the case of Cambridge Analytica, it looks like it's been used for much more nefarious circumstances here. There's a concern, obviously, people feel manipulated by the patterns in the data they've freely given away.
Freely given away is the key thing, and also a key thing is that Cambridge Analytica, the academic involved, all deny wrongdoing, as do Facebook. I mean, that is the quid pro quo we're discovering. Facebook is not free. What you're giving up is your data.
That's right, and actually giving away data is central, front and centre to Facebook's business model. So what's happening right now is something they've never really tackled before, and I think it feels, people don't like it because they feel there's a lack of transparency. You've been transparent about giving your data to Facebook, but once it's gone to Facebook, you don't know what's happened after that. So it feels like very much an imbalance of power.
Yeah. And the key with this particular story this week is that an app that was designed actually harvested the data of users' friends. And of course, nobody gave permission for that. How do you stop this happening, Ivana?
Well, first of all, there are a number of things that can be done. So first is about people understanding the importance of personal data. Now, there are different schools of thought about it, but I would really like people to understand what personal data is. So you can say that you own your personal data. So, for example, it's like your car, like your mobile phone. In that case, you can say, well, actually, I'm happy to sell this thing that I own. But if you consider personal data as yourself, something that is about yourself, but is actually your own persona, that it becomes much more important. So understanding what is personal data and making sure that we, citizens, the public, understand the value that is not something that we own, but is actually who we are. That places a completely different understanding on what personal data is. And second is about demanding information about ourselves and making sure that whatever we do, whatever we sign up to, we know exactly what we are accepting, and also that we challenge it. Now, there is a new regulation coming into force in May 2018, which is a fantastic tool. It's called the General Data Protection Regulation. And although perhaps it doesn't go far enough, but it's a fantastic compromise because it's allowed, first of all, it forces organizations to be more transparent, to say exactly what they're going to do with their data. And it also deals with the core issue that happened with Facebook, with the relationship with vendors.
Yes.
Because what happened wrong there was that there was not enough governance, and I would say also ethical governance, around handing over data to third parties. And this legislation clarifies all this.
Okay.
But the most important thing, I think, is for us as citizens to say, this data is about me. I want to know what happens. And if I don't like it, I want to ask, claim answers about the use of personal data. And this is a step that we all have to do.
Is it possible for us to withhold permission from Facebook for using our data?
The issue for me, I think, is now that you've got an account and the data's out there. So I think the issue is going to be the data. Even if people are deleting their accounts right now, they're not necessarily deleting the data that Facebook holds about them. So withholding information, you can, to an extent. Don't sign up for apps. Don't put your children's data up there. You quite rightly said you don't post pictures of children and younger family members.
Billions of people do.
They do, absolutely. And I think actually it's one of these scandals, it's almost at the start of a scandal, because I think people are starting to understand now, they've given their data away, they're starting to understand the consequences of that better.
Yeah. And the settlement has always been, I give my data and in return I get a fantastic online experience. But I think that settlement needs to be discussed now.
Sure.
And I think this is what is called sort of digital ethics. And
yes, yeah, which is your specialist area, so it's good that you're here. Jennifer, finally, briefly, you obtain data and analyse it for clients, not dissimilar to Cambridge Analytica. In essence, how do you go obtaining that data?
I absolutely make sure that my customers have obtained the permissions of the people's data that we're using. So you have to be
How do you make sure? By asking them?
And what we do is you have to make sure people have signed the, if there's any terms and conditions. People have to read and make sure and accept those. I'm quite fortunate that my customers take responsibility for that action. I think as well, a lot of the services I offer are more about social good, so I'm trying to tackle things like identifying variables that might predict homelessness and things like that. So it's not really about more profit, but more concern in trying to improve people's lives. So there can be good in data, but what we're seeing now is the very bad side of it.
Okay.
People need to be more data literate.
So, I mean, the value of data is fantastic in itself. If you think how much it can improve in health, if you look at artificial intelligence and how much data it can ingest and how good it could be for the common good. The thing is that we really need to make sure that all this can happen for the common good, and for the right causes and for the right things, and therefore that businesses take the right responsibilities. And this is why this new legislation coming into force, I think, is very important. But also the public, we really need to take ownership of this discussion.
Although there's nothing illegal or illegitimate about using data to target advertising.
Absolutely.
If you're clear that you're using that data, if you think you've got permission, and that the advert is branded.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Steve.